looking over the minutes from the August 11th meeting and voting to either approve or change.
I motion to approve.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. So our minutes from August 11th are unanimously approved, and we can move on to our youth services report. Shannon?
Hello. I did a little bit of professional development this month. We had a webinar, which was obviously virtual, but it also had a workshop element to it. And it was basically about addressing the needs of homeschoolers within the library. And since a lot of people in our community have either converted to homeschooling and are continuing with that, and then there's just there are large homeschooling groups in our area that we do serve. I thought it was a good brush up on the differences and what they need as patrons. I met up with the Blackstone Valley Youth Services librarians for a virtual meeting. It was a good talk. Mostly we spoke about what we're going to do going forward into the cold winter months. Everyone has sort of been doing things outside. A number of the libraries in this group are also small like us, so they're limited by
Space, I'm
space.
sure.
In relation to programming with small children and things like that. So it was a good discussion. Everyone's just sort of in different places, and they're sort of just watching how everything's going to play out in the next couple of months. So it's just sort of up in the air. But it was good to know that it's not just us, but the surrounding towns too. In August, we had 15 children's in-person programs. We had 104 people in attendance. They were outside.
Why does mine say 404?
What did I say?
104?
I'm sorry, 404. Apologize, that's me. In August, we had made 166 craft kits for kids. People are still liking those, still picking them up constantly. We almost can't keep up. It's pretty intense. As far as upcoming programs go, we have had Little Lotus Yoga outside on Thursdays. The last 2 Thursdays have been rainy. We still had them because it wasn't technically raining when the program was going. But there's still a chance. It's supposed to be nice this Thursday, so we will be doing it then also, and then we will do it on October 7th. This Thursday's, it's at 6:30, but it's getting kind of dark, so the following one will be at 6 o'clock. It's for children 6 and up. It's a lovely mindfulness yoga program. You know, she reads a little bit, and it's just a nice come down after a hectic day. And it really is beautiful outside on the common. It does get dark fast after the program ends, but the light fades so nicely during the time out there, and then, but it does get dark, I will give you that. Bring a sweater. Let's see, we are going to be hosting Deb Hudgens in October on Mondays at 10 on October 4th and October 18th. Those will be outside, so they will be weather dependent. She usually does them in the gazebo. That's for children's 1 to 5. Which we love. And then we are attempting Lego Club. We've had 2 so far. I didn't really advertise them a whole lot. It was sort of like a soft opening. So we had one little boy come, and he had fun. He had a great time. But we are doing those again, so I will maybe have more of a hard opening, advertise it a bit more. But those will be Mondays at 3:30 on October 4th and 18th, and those are inside the library, so you do have to wear a mask. And that's for ages 5 and up. If you are younger than 5, you can participate, but you have to have an actively participating adult, because I cannot make sure that you're not shoving Legos up your nose. Someone else has to do that. For teens, in August, we held a paint night.
Before you
Inside. Oh,
go any further,
sure.
I'm going to interrupt for a
Sure,
second
sure.
and just ask for the Lego Club, when you do your hard opening,
Yeah, super hard.
what's your maximum number? Do you have one yet?
Probably 8, because 8 is the maximum number that we're doing for teens. We could probably do a couple more just because they're smaller generally. We generally don't have more than that in the library at a time. Lego Club has been sort of a drop-in thing, so we have like 2 people who come at the very beginning, and then like a few more trickle in, and then some trickle out. So I haven't had to address that so far, but it would probably be 8 to 10
Okay,
based on size and adults in the room with them.
all right. Thank you.
That was a good question, though. Be ready for that. So in August, we held a paint night. We had 7 teens in attendance, which was actually perfect for the size of the room because there was me, and then there was a teen volunteer, and someone from the Millbury Sutton Chronicle was there. So it filled the room very quickly with enough space. I was like, okay, that's good. We did 206 crafts in August for teens and adults. For anyone who's interested in that rolling date, we've made 3,022 craft kits to date. And then we hosted a total of 11 teen volunteers in the month of August, and collectively they put in 29 hours of work, which is awesome. And then I've got two that have just made it a permanent sort of thing. They come every week at the same time, so that's great. And then I've got one other guy who's fulfilling some required hours, but I've got him for a little while too, so I'm real happy on the volunteer front at the moment.
Great. All right. Any questions for Shannon from either of you?
No questions.
Aiden?
Nothing, no, thank you.
Okay. In that case, we can move right into Betsy's director's report.
All right, so I had a bunch of meetings, actually, since we met, which has, it's, in fairness, been like 6, 7 weeks, because we met early and now we're meeting late. A lot of strategic plan meetings. We have that for you to look at later. We wrapped up the preservation assessment grant meeting things. I had some virtual meetings, actually did some in-person things last week, which was delightful. Because I saw people I haven't seen in almost 2 years, so that was good. And let's see. So book groups had August off because that was planned anyway. They did themselves in September. Pam chose a book for October, but I don't think we have dates yet or what their plan is for October. So, but they're still kind of trucking along there, just a few of them here and there. They had small numbers for September. The only thing that I have planned out is a sign language basics part 2. We did part 1 last winter. It's virtual, and so that's all set. We already paid for it. Shannon's made the events on the online calendar. I think you can't see them yet because we were unsure if we were handling registration or if the sign language people are handling registration. But that's it. There's nothing else outstanding at all. The Friends met 2 weeks ago. They're doing a fudge order for Thanksgiving. The order forms are downstairs. People have like 6-ish weeks to drop those off downstairs, and the fudge will be here
The 20th.
to pick up the Saturday before Thanksgiving. So that's good. I don't know what else they're doing. I think they're fully stocked on mugs and blankets. Strategic plan is done and ready for your approval. And I'll submit that, and we'll make an FY23 action plan tomorrow and submit that. And then we're all good. You don't have to worry about anything until next December 1st, which is when you'll have to submit the FY24 action plan, which you'll just pull from the strategic plan, so that's fine. We have just about spent all the preservation grant money. We will spend the last little tiny bit tomorrow, because that's the last day. I have the invoice. I just had to chase it down. And then I will help Shannon write the final report. because it's due in 2 weeks. Shannon will help me write the final report. Tomorrow's a big day. We're not going to finish that tomorrow. We'll work on it over the next 2 weeks together. But that's fine. And the staff, we didn't finish putting in the hours that we were going to spend working on. We have this gigantic accession book for the Historical Society that we've been putting into an Excel spreadsheet. And we haven't finished the number of hours we're going to, but we will just continue working on it. It's not going to hurt anybody. So, and they're all diligently working away on it. It's boring, but simultaneously interesting because they have a lot of weird stuff over there. So,
Okay.
and if they finish that book, there's a whole nother one. So we're about a little over a third of the way through the hours that we said we'd do. So. We welcomed Julia a couple weeks ago. She is doing fabulous. She's just a self-starter and keeping herself busy and like making displays and stuff, which is awesome. So that's great. August service stats, 34 lobby pickups and 15 home deliveries. And so they're hoping about steady. We're still pretty much doing the same home delivery people. We've had a volunteer doing deliveries or at least a month now, which I really appreciate because he's faster than I was. So that's working out good. And I think probably you'll see an uptick in, I feel like there's been an uptick in pickups this month, a little bit. So, just a tiny bit. Other than that, they were surprisingly steady. I was looking at the overall statistics on those, and they've been very steady. So, that's it.
Okay.
Everything's tidy, I hope.
All right. Any questions on the director's report?
I'm good.
No.
Okay. We can move on to statistics.
All right, so circulation was pretty good for August, and it's about steady for September. I feel like maybe it's a little low, but it's pretty steady. It's the best we can say. We're not overly busy, which is good for us right now because we're short-staffed, but it is what it is.
Okay.
I don't know. Same thing with Overdrive, e-content, pretty steady. It was almost 1,000 last month. And that's there too.
Okay.
So not down, but not up, which I guess is a good thing.
And financials.
Yeah, so something weird happened with this one, besides the fact that it's sideways, or actually upright. The numbers are right, but I don't know why it says percent used 100 in the last column. No
Okay.
idea, but other than that, instead of like the normal percent. I think Pam, we haven't closed out the last fiscal year, right? Right, Tim hasn't done that? Okay, so that's my conclusion as to why that percent looks funny. Because we're not officially working in this fiscal year yet. So that's my story and I'm sticking to it. Other than that, everything there is on track. Kind of.
Okay, so the percent used column
Is wrong.
is wrong.
Yeah. Usually like mid-September, Tim finishes out the previous fiscal year, but he hasn't done it yet. So we're definitely not.
So we haven't used 100% of the budget.
We haven't used 100% of the budget. I don't know why that one's weird. And hopefully when Shannon runs it next month, it'll be fine. Or it could be because I was showing her how to do something and I ran it weird. So there was a couple options there.
Okay, well, as long as we haven't used 100% of everything, we should be okay.
Yeah, no, and I think it's generally on track.
All right.
State aid, we didn't, maybe we spent something. A lot of craft supplies this month. We did buy a wetback, which we've only had to use once so far, but it's a worthwhile investment for the future, we think.
Unfortunately, it has
Yeah,
to be.
It's never going to stop raining, so there's that. We did pay for the website for another year, so that was great. And then today I just got the bill for the museum pass and program registration software, so that'll be all set too for a year. Most of our stuff seems to renew in the fall. But yeah, so it's 86.59.49 left in there, and we should be getting a a new payment December, so we're certainly not gonna go broke
Okay,
before then, hopefully. I don't have anything else booked that needs to be paid for. Shannon doesn't have anything else booked that needs to be paid for, so should be fine.
all right, good.
Huh? Should I put the mask back on so you don't have to see my face?
Maybe.
In the gift account, we had to pay a little bit for our performance series because it wasn't all covered by the Cultural Council grant. But that's all that we've paid out of there, so that's got $1,617.25. It's fine, and for the first time in the entire grant cycle, you have an LSTA preservation assessment grant, because we finally spent some money out of it. We spent a lot of money. So there's only $2,334.37 left in that. According to this, we've actually like way less, but that's fine. We will have that completely spent to zero tomorrow, and that will be all set. So next month when Shannon has that for you, it will be zero.
Zero.
That's it. Do you guys have any numbers, questions for me?
Questions from anyone?
I'm good at the moment.
No.
I think you did a great job on that. No one has questions.
It's because we spent all the money. It's gone. All right, so then we have the annual report for you to approve. Usually we don't do this till the end of the year, calendar year. But I wanted to have it done so that nobody else had to do it. I shortened some things up just because it was a weird year anyway, and just tried to lump them all under one kind of general COVID
Mhm.
lump. And I made sure to note it was the first entire fiscal year that we were under the restrictions, in case next year happens to be the second entire year. So,
Don't even think it, but
but I mean, overall, like, you can tell that we did a good weed, because this, materials owned were down. Circ transactions were only down 9,000 from the previous year, which was not terrible. And interlibrary loans were up over last year, so. who
and
knows?
given what we've been through,
Right,
I don't think we can expect numbers to.
right. I was surprised we had 200 programs. It didn't really feel like that. To me, maybe to you it did. To Shannon, it felt like 200 programs, but. So considering we didn't have any physical programs until recently, that's not that bad.
Yeah, that's true.
Right.
So yeah, and total value of things we circulated was $775,651, which is a return on investment of 3 times our budget. And that doesn't include any programming numbers, so.
I mean, to say that we circulated $750,000 worth of materials, that's very impressive.
Yeah. Well, and it's funny because that kind of lowballs the overdrive things. I calculate that at $20 per thing because that's what somebody might reasonably expect to buy their own ebook for. Obviously, ours costs a lot more, so it's kind of a lowball number, but it is parity for what you would spend if you bought yourself an ebook. So,
It's really the way we should look at it anyways, because it's the money we're saving.
Yeah.
The various members of the town.
yep. So, does anybody have anything they want to change on this?
I see nothing that we would need to change. Do either of you see anything?
Not at the moment.
Okay.
I'm surprised we collected any fines at all,
I
considering.
was
that we
surprised at
waived-
that too. These people still give us money for other library stuff, or they also just like to give us money sometimes if they feel super guilty.
Yeah, but then they could just go as donations.
Yeah, and I think we took in more from copies and fax money this month than we did all of last year,
Wow.
right? Because we just did it like the other day,
Yeah.
and it was like $50,
Yeah.
and it was more than we took in all of last year. But
But you were closed to the public a lot of last year, so.
yeah. All right, so if you guys want to vote on that.
And summer reading, everything so
I
far.
kind of lumped, usually we would break out summer reading into a lot more detail, and I didn't. I just kind of lumped it all into one thing this year. Just,
That's okay. right. I will make a motion to accept, excuse me, the annual report as written.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Favor?
All right. It is unanimously accepted.
Okay, thank you.
And we can move on to the strategic plan.
Yes. I realized the entire time I was calling it the long-range plan, then I looked at like what other people calling it, and I was like, strategic's better. So, now it's a strategic plan. So thank you all for working with us through this process. We'd like to thank our committee members who were super helpful. So yeah, and Shannon did a ton of the demographic work for us and like helped me put it all together. So it's like much of a team effort here, so.
Do you want to change calling it the long-range plan in the body of the report to strategic plan?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
Okay.
I mean, we can still say long-range planning is a requirement.
Yeah, I like that part, but the other one, the next paragraph down, I'll make, there's 2 changes in there. I'll change it to strategic. Thank you. I feel like they can be used interchangeably, but seeing as I started off with that, yeah. I changed on the second page, or the page 3.
Okay. Have the other members of the board had a chance to look this over at all?
Is the one is there any changes from the one that you sent us?
No,
Okay.
except for maybe I changed long range to strategic.
Okay, that's it, yep,
That's it.
so yes, yep, I
Okay.
did get to look it over.
I did review it myself as well.
Okay. Do either of you have any questions on the plan itself?
No.
All right. In that case, I will make a motion to accept it with the change of long-range plan to strategic plan throughout the body of the document.
Second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right. It is unanimously accepted with changes. Okay. Anything else about that plan, Betsy?
No.
All right, we will move into our director's position. Unfortunately, our current director, Betsy, will be leaving us at the end of the month to accept a position in another library. Betsy, we will miss you. You've taken us through some really interesting times, from trying to plan for a new building, which was not the most pleasant experience in the long run, but you did a lot of work on that for sure, to leading us through a pandemic and a lot of other things along the way. And so we thank you for all your hard work.
It's my pleasure, most of the time.
And we wish you good luck in your new position.
Thank you.
We'll miss you. Heather, anything to add?
Yeah, I think, a lot of accolades for everything that you've done here, as, Joanne said. I have to say, one thing that I really, really enjoyed is like your craft adult nights. I enjoy doing the crafts themselves, but, I enjoy just being there, having, some adult time You and Shannon always have some great banter together that makes everyone laugh and makes everyone so comfortable. And I just think it was just such a great thing for myself and, other people have, that I've talked to, that just, it's a great way to bring community together. And that's what, you really get out of it, is a bringing together of community and a time of fellowship together. And so I just really want to thank you for that.
Yeah, we got one more last one tomorrow night, but only a couple people signed up.
Just want to thank you for all your efforts. You've done a wonderful job of keeping us running smoothly through a lot of challenges, and we're going to miss you. Thank you very much for your service.
You want me to just keep going,
Yeah,
Betsy?
just keep going.
Or do you have anything to add? Okay, in that case, we as a board need to appoint an interim director as we go through the search process for appointing a permanent director. So I am going to advise the board that Shannon would be a wonderful candidate for interim director. She has all the qualifications needed to handle that position, and Betsy has been working with her to try and bring her up to speed at this point. So I will I'll open it to discussion if anyone has anything to add to that.
No, I actually thought that made sense.
Yeah, it does. Yep, I agree. Just even from some comments from Betsy today about how they've worked together a lot on some of these final activities and reports and so on and so forth. It seems like a natural fit for the position.
So Shannon, we will formally ask you if you would be willing to take on the role of interim director.
Of course, yeah.
Okay, thank you so much. And so with that being said, I will make a motion to appoint Shannon as our interim director.
I'll second.
All in favor? You are unanimously appointed. Congratulations, I think, Shannon.
Thank you.
And we will do everything possible to support you and help you along the way.
Thank you.
So we need to plan our next meeting date. So, if you can get calendars out and take a look at what looks good in October. So if we went 4 weeks from today, it would bring us to October 27th. Any thoughts, any comments? October 27th?
I could do that, or if we want to move back to our third week where we did it before, we kind of got bumped forward an extra week. Either way is fine
It's
with
true.
me.
I think we're going to be busy working on our director search process, so I think possibly keeping it at October 27th might bring us closer to a final decision. Or at least we would have something to report at that point in time. So my suggestion would be we keep it at the 27th for October and then move back. Although that would
And then we
bring
have the
us
holidays.
to the night before Thanksgiving, so we might want to take a
We can
look
always
at,
pick up that November meeting in October. Figure out what we're all doing.
all right, so is October 27th okay with everybody?
Yes.
Looks like it will work for me.
That'll work for you, Shannon?
Yep, I'm gonna be here every day. No worries.
Do you want to come back and join us, Betsy?
No.
You might just have to make sure that the schedule is covered.
Yes, I was just thinking that. Don't worry about it.
All right, if it's going to be an issue, Shannon, you'd have to let us know ASAP.
Yep.
All right. Okay, so Wednesday, October 27th at 3:30, unless we hear otherwise from Shannon. All right. And does anyone have anything else to cover at this point in time? All right. We have a motion to adjourn.
I'll make that motion.
All right. I will second it. All in favor? All right, so our meeting is adjourned at, I'm going to say 4:04. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Do we have a date for the first meeting when we're gonna be reviewing? Did we come up with a solid time? I know you sent out a couple possible dates.
Yeah, I think it's going to be